WPTV Treasure Coast News starts now.
The main thing is her privacy being violated, a piece of her innocence being taken.
The ultimate betrayal, a landlord accused of strategically placing cameras inside a 12-year-old's bedroom and bathroom. The message her mother has for him tonight. Hurricane relief efforts intensify more than a week after Ian slammed into southwest Florida. Why the rush to support those impacted, as officials telling some to hold off on their help. Well, good evening, everyone. Welcome to Treasure Coast News on WPTV News Channel 5. Each Saturday at 7 o'clock, join us right here for dedicated coverage of stories and issues in and around the Treasure Coast from Stewart to Sebastian. We begin tonight by checking in with First Alert meteorologist Kate Wenzel. Kate?
Hey, John, I hope you all had a good Saturday. It was mostly cloudy skies, a few showers, but overall fairly quiet day. And temperatures right now staying warm in the upper 70s to the low 80s, 81 degrees in Stewart, 77 Port St. Lucie, Okeechobee, 79 degrees, 79 Vero Beach and Sebastian, right now 77. Basically dry across Indian River County, much of St. Lucie County, Okeechobee County. We are seeing a few fast-moving little tiny showers across Martin County. That's about it. So tonight, not a huge chance of seeing much in the way of rain. Temperatures staying warm tonight with beach breezes, mostly cloudy skies. But as we head into tomorrow, we are going to up our storm chances. The other big news, Hurricane Julia. So Julia has just been upgraded to a hurricane from a tropical storm. Max winds at 75 miles per hour, moving quickly to the west at 17, and it is expected to move onshore of Nicaragua overnight into early Sunday morning and eventually move across into the Pacific. So it will make landfall as a Cat 1, then weaken down to tropical storm, could emerge into the Pacific as a tropical storm, and then weaken to a depression by Monday. So Julia won't impact our weather, but something to watch for sure. And once it gets out in the Pacific, it looks like it kind of just wants to hug the coastline right there. And there are watches in effect for Nicaragua as well as portions of Honduras too. So it's Category 1, so certainly nothing like what the West Coast just saw with Ian last week. Well, this is a time lapse from Jonathan Dickens State Park, and we saw a little bit of everything, some sun, some clouds, and a few showers too. I'll be back in a few minutes with more on the tropics, plus your weekend forecast.
We're learning more tonight about how a family found hidden cameras used to spy on a 12-year-old girl in Martin County. Detectives say the landlord placed them strategically. Only on 5, the girl's mother speaks with WPTV Treasure Coast News' Tori Dunnan and has asked that we do not reveal her identity.
What was your reaction when you pulled the faceplate off and you saw what appeared to be a camera?
My heart just started racing, just pure rage. It was so hard for me to not confront him.
The mother of a 12-year-old girl who detectives say was spied on by their landlord via hidden cameras speaks about the ordeal.
The main thing is my daughter and her privacy being violated, a piece of her innocence being taken.
Detectives say cameras were found in the bathroom and bedroom outlets, the bottom hole of the third prong.
My daughter was trying to plug in her straightener and it wouldn't go in the bottom prong hole. They thought, maybe something was stuck in there. Upon looking further, nothing was stuck in there. It was a camera.
The Martin County Sheriff's Office arrested a landlord, 61-year-old Bruce Wayne Grady, now facing charges related to video voyeurism. How come you decided to come forward and talk with us?
Just want to get justice for my daughter. He bonded out the next day. The charges were video voyeurism.
Deputies say he was connected to Wi-Fi with the ability to view live feeds.
One in her bathroom facing the toilet and the shower, and the other one was in her bedroom right next to her bed, but it was facing where she always stands and does TikTok dances and stuff like that. Perfect line of vision.
The mother tells us she downloaded a hidden camera scanner app.
It picked up 2 suspicious devices.
She's now trying to figure out next steps. They left the apartment. She says he's back next door.
Have to get my daughter into therapy, find a new place to live. It's just everything's flipped upside down at this point. He is not only my landlord, but he is my neighbor.
What would you say to him if you had the opportunity to talk to him?
I would ask him if he like understood the path of destruction that he has caused.
In Martin County, Tori Dunnan, WPTV News Channel 5.
Now to the latest on Hurricane Ian's impact. The governor says 99% of the state's power grid is now restored. There are small pockets of Lee County where electricity is still shut off. That's Southwest Florida County also reporting the most deaths related to the hurricane. At least 50 people died as a result of the storm there in Lee County. Statewide, the death toll around 100. And tonight we're learning more about one of those victims who died on the Treasure Coast. 34-year-old Cody Dudek's body was found in Martin County before Hurricane Ian made landfall. WPTV Treasure Coast News' Dave Bowman talked with a local veteran who says that we lost a great soldier and a great neighbor in the storm.
A local veterans group wants South Florida to remember Cody Dudek as someone who served his country and not as a casualty of Hurricane Ian.
Hi everyone, I'm Staff Sergeant Cody Dudek. I was with the United States Army. I was part of Ranger Battalion, which is a special operations unit within the Army.
His death was devastating to us.
Kerry Reichbach is president of Gray Team, a group specializing in mental health among veterans and those on active duty. Army Staff Sergeant Cody Dudek came to the group after surviving combat in Afghanistan. Dudek was shot, badly wounded, and according to Reichbach, he struggled with civilian life.
He lost his family, his mother and father at a very early age. He lost his young daughter while he was on deployment.
His friends lost Cody Dudek last week. The medical examiner lists his death as hurricane-related. Dudek's body was found in shallow floodwater from outer bands of heavy rain from Ian.
And for someone like that to be lost, it's a loss to the entire community.
Veterans and friends from Gray Team held a beachfront service for Cody. They approximated a Viking warrior send-off, burned a picture, and tossed the ashes into the Atlantic. Cody Dudek's death comes just after his engagement and after a promotion at work.
His life had completely turned around. He was, in such a better place than when we first met him.
Cody Dudek's family is planning a funeral near Buffalo, New York, his hometown. But veterans groups hope he is always remembered here as well. In Boca Raton, Dave Bowman, WPTV News Channel 5.
Multiple law enforcement agencies from across the Treasure Coast are spending time helping out on the other side of the state. WPTV's Brianna Nesperal circles back with a member of the Martin County Sheriff's Office in Charlotte County and has an update tonight on their relief efforts.
The help we are seeing over on the West Coast has been incredible. Multiple agencies with their boots on the ground providing relief in the aftermath of the storm. One lieutenant I spoke with tells me the magnitude of the devastation is immense, but the aid has been even greater.
We've seen roofs ripped off of houses. We've seen collapsed buildings and things like that. Definitely an eye-opener. Definitely, you read about it, you see it, but until you experience it firsthand, you don't really get a good appreciation for what can actually happen.
Crews from all over our viewing area have responded to the West Coast. I spoke to Lieutenant Matthew Mordino with the Martin County Sheriff's Office, who's based at Port Charlotte with 14 other rapid response team members.
Our base camp here with our tents set up over our food and cooking stations.
Their crew working overnight shifts, helping the other agencies on patrol after curfew, guiding traffic, and watching for looting, something Mordino says has been happening on a daily and nightly basis.
It's a steady issue that they have here. It takes the lowest of the low to prey on somebody when they're this far down.
These photos show some of their relief efforts, providing meals and water to Ian's victims. But Mordino says he wishes they were able to provide even more.
And that's kind of the frustrating part of all of this, is you want to help as many people as you can and get them everything that they need, and you're limited on what you're able to do, unfortunately.
But even with the amount of devastation and heartbreak, there have been moments of good.
The community here is really pulling together and helping one another.
And as for Martin County deputies, they still plan on staying for at least 2 weeks. In West Palm Beach, I'm Brianna Nesperal, WPTV News Channel 5.
And as cleanup efforts continue in Southwest Florida, some Treasure Coast contractors are preparing to go help. WPTV Treasure Coast News' Matt Cesny found a local business owner who's just waiting on the green light from FEMA.
Here in Palm City and Martin County, these trucks are parked now, but they will soon be moving. heading to Florida's west coast.
It's all got to be picked up by somebody.
The guy who owns the trucks, Jon Shainman, is talking about the job ahead in the Fort Myers area, ravaged by Hurricane Ian. A job so big, FEMA is now sorting out what local companies get to come in and help. And Jon's above and beyond landscaping business is one of them, set to haul out trash and vegetation, something he says he's done at 8 major storms over the last several years, from the Northeast to the Gulf Coast.
All these contracts are based off of prior arrangements before the storm comes. And then we get contracted by the companies that are working for FEMA.
One emergency management official here in Palm Beach County says many of the private firms looking to help need to be approved by FEMA, the only way to make sure they get paid and maintain any order in a disaster area. For Jon, that means a job he estimates could last well to the end of the year.
It makes you feel good when you're helping the community out, and I mean, a lot of people have lost everything.
Jon says he'll likely get the green light from FEMA to start moving these trucks over to the Fort Myers area sometime next week. In Palm City, Matt Cesny, WPTV News Channel 5.
And you can help right now and make a difference. WPTV is partnering with the Scripps Howard Fund for Hurricane Relief, working directly with local organizations to ensure that every cent that you give goes directly to those people impacted by the storm, and it's easy to help. You can text the word STORM to 50155 or scan this QR code, or you can go to WPTV.com/storm. Well, coming up, an anonymous tipster accused 2 police officers of falsifying documents. The investigation linked to high school football and why detectives decided to close the case. And more on Hurricane Ian's impact on the Treasure Coast. The beaches still shut down because of storm damage.
And Tropical Storm Julia has now strengthened to a hurricane. It's moving west towards Central America. I'll have the latest track coming up after the break.
This is WPTV Treasure Coast News.
The Martin County Sheriff's Office has closed its investigation into criminal allegations against 2 high-ranking Port St. Lucie police officers. An anonymous complaint accused them of helping falsify student addresses so students living in St. Lucie County could play football at Martin County High School. WPTV's Megan McRoberts reports why the agency will not pursue criminal charges.
The sheriff tells me that after reviewing the allegations along with the Martin County School District, they found that the allegations just did not rise to a criminal level. But those allegations are still under review by the school board and the Florida High School Athletic Association to see if any of their policies were violated. An anonymous complaint that claims to be on behalf of a student athlete's parent was mailed to WPTV, and we now know the same complaint was also sent to law enforcement, which sparked an investigation. It alleged, quote, illegal recruiting of student athletes at Martin County High School perpetrated by high-ranking officers of the City of Port St. Lucie Police Department. Named in the complaint, Assistant Chief William Vega and his brother, Sergeant Robert Vega. Both are also volunteer coaches for Martin County High School's football team, according to the school district.
We did no interviews. What we did, though, is take a look at the paperwork that a parent would have had to sign to get their children here into the school system.
And in reviewing the paperwork, neither of the Vegas names were on any documents.
So if there was anything that was illegal, it was not involving the 2 Port St. Lucie officers.
And the school district did not want to press criminal charges.
Without their pushing the matter forward and maintaining that there was a crime, there was really nowhere for us to go with it.
While the sheriff's office is no longer involved, the Florida High School Athletic Association tells me they are currently working with the school district to address the allegations and will, quote, conduct a review to either clear Martin County High School or issue penalties if necessary based on our findings. Megan McRoberts, WPTV News Channel 5.
According to the Florida High School Athletic Association's policy handbook, if they find players were somehow recruited to the school specifically to play sports, penalties can include forfeiting winning games to students becoming ineligible to play. Now, again, we want to reiterate the Martin County Sheriff says the investigation is closed and that no criminal charges will be filed. Well, more than a week after Hurricane Ian struck southwest Florida, there are still questions about the evacuation process ahead of the storm. And we found out every county has a playbook for this, a plan on when to tell people they need to evacuate for a storm. Along the coast, much of the decision has to do with storm surge. In St. Lucie County, for instance, there are designated flood zone areas that would be first to get that evacuation order. The emergency director in St. Lucie County says decisions like this aren't easy, especially when storms can change direction. But the goal is to make a decision early enough to allow people to leave.
Just as we experienced with Hurricane Ian, things could shift overnight in 12 hours and 6 hours. So we always have to, as emergency managers, err on the side of cautions, again, based on the data that we're getting from our partners at the National Weather Service and National Hurricane Center. So based on that, we always do our best to err on the side of caution.
Now, officials say it's vital that everyone has their own plan in place so that when the evacuation call comes, there's no hesitation about wondering where you should go. Well, the Humane Society of the Treasure Coast is asking people in our community to open up their homes. Their Palm City shelter's at capacity, and now they're asking for people to adopt or foster pets to help free up kennel space. This comes as they welcome rescued animals from Lee County and other areas hit hard by Hurricane Ian. Adoption fees have been waived until further notice. You can find out more and access their website by going to our website, WPTV.com. Well, tonight, several Treasure Coast beaches remain closed because of erosion caused by Ian. 2 of 8 beaches in Indian River County still shut down while crews work to make repairs. Erosion creating 10-foot drop-offs you see there in some areas. The Sea Grape Beach access and Tracking Station Beach Park still shut down. County staff using drones to get an updated look at conditions. In Martin County, the last beach renourishment on a stretch of beach there in 2018. It's not set to see another renourishment until 2026. The Florida Department of Health in Martin County has issued a health advisory for Sandsprit Park in Stewart and Layton Park in Palm City. Recent sampling showed elevated bacterial levels in the water. Both areas will be retested Monday, and we'll let you know when it's safe to swim again.
And overall, it was a fairly quiet day across the Treasure Coast. Not one of our prettiest days, but in light of what some other folks have been dealing with, we'll take this. So mostly cloudy skies today, but from time to time we saw some nice peaks of sunshine, some showers too. And as we head into the evening hours, mainly dry. We could still see a few spotty showers, but not expecting storms tonight. Well, we made it up to 84 degrees today in Vero Beach. The low this morning, 64 degrees. In fact, tonight it's going to be even more mild than that. You can see our average is about 71, and that's about where we will be tonight. Right now it's 77 degrees in Sebastian, 79 Vero, 77 Port St. Lucie, Stewart 81 degrees, Okeechobee 79, and Fort Pierce 79. Most of the rain right now is across Palm Beach County, so the Treasure Coast, you're looking good. Just a few spotty showers from time to time across Martin County. And again, not a lot of rain expected tonight, but tomorrow rain chances will pick up as moisture increases around the region. So wake up temperatures across the Treasure Coast, low 70s for the most part, except Okeechobee. You'll wake up to 69 degrees. So a little bit of a cool start for you. Now on the Vipercast, this is 8 a.m. You can see a few showers and they'll be streaming in off that northeasterly breeze. 11:30, seeing a good downpour central Martin County towards Indiantown. This is 2:30, some scattered activity. 5:30, we're looking at the potential for some storms across the region, and then it will finally start to wind down by about 10:30 for your Sunday evening. If you're headed out tonight, you'll be mainly rain free. Now this is Hurricane Julia. In fact, just upgraded in the last hour, moving to the west at 17. Max winds now at 75 miles per hour. It will move onshore across Nicaragua and will then emerge back out into the Pacific in a weakened state, eventually expected to diminish down to a depression. You can see the spaghetti models, a pretty good agreement putting it out there in the Pacific. So this one we don't have to be concerned with, but interesting, the Hurricane Center has included this area as an area for potential redevelopment if Julia heads out towards the southern Mexican coastline. All right, back here at home, we're going to see moisture increasing as we head through the work weeks. Humidity's back. It won't feel like it did last week. There goes Julia to our west. But notice what comes down late Friday into Saturday. We're tracking a cold front, so we're going to see some cooling and drying by next weekend. For tonight, temperatures dropping down to about 70 degrees. Few showers possible tomorrow, 86. Winds out of the east at 15. Bumpy for the boaters, seas 3 to 4 at times, up to 5 feet. And here's your extended forecast. So for tomorrow, temps about 86 degrees with a 60% chance of intermittent showers and storms. Monday, we bump that up to a 40% chance, staying that way into Tuesday. Then higher rain chances Wednesday through Friday. But again, Saturday, we're tracking a cold front that should start to clear us out.
And a big thank you again to our WPTV weather spotters for helping us capture some incredible images and videos as Hurricane Ian struck the area. If you'd like to join the team, find all the info to sign up at the top of our website, WPTV.com. Click on the Weather Spotters tab. Our next training session currently scheduled for Saturday, November 19th.
Here are your Treasure Coast sports highlights with the ESPN 106.3 sports team.
All right, my friends, I got the hat, I got the sunglasses on because it's South Florida and it's extremely hot. You already know how it is. What's going on, my friends? Tyree Smith from ESPN 106.3. We always talk about high school football in the Treasure Coast area and how they dominate every Friday night. But there's another sport that's played on the court, and one team, they're doing more than dominating. They're trying to capture something. I'm talking about the Fort Pierce Central Cobras. The Cobras sit at a 14-4 record and ranked 19th in the state, according to FHSAA. The team is looking to bring home their first district title since 2019 and a regional title since 1984. The journey to achieve either goal is tough, but they believe it can happen because of the team's culture.
We have a very we over me attitude that I try to make sure that those players have, but the players also have that. So whatever they do when they come in, they work hard for the team. So it's the individual things, come later, but that we over me helps us to push us to be stronger.
On the gridiron, Fort Pierce Westwood football has been achieving some goals of their own, winning. Last season, the Panthers didn't win one game last year. Now, with new head coach Chris Coquel, they are 5-1 and one district win away from the playoffs. But Coach Coquel doesn't believe it was his doing that turned the program around.
Turnaround has been the kids. They put in the work. They bought in. You know what I mean? When you get a new coach and you've had a bunch of new coaches over year after year for a decade, it's like, all right, this guy's just going to say whatever. But they didn't. They pushed back a little bit in the beginning. Then myself, Coach Ryan Williams, he came in. They follow him. They love him, that energy. Our defense started going, and now our offense is starting to catch up.
And that's the look of sports.
A new resort now taking reservations in Port St. Lucie, the getaway you can book if you and your family are planning a staycation. That's next. Indian River County says it will not authorize an emergency debris pickup in the wake of Hurricane Ian. Instead, county commissioners are asking residents to bring their yard waste to the landfill or one of the county's convenience centers. Commissioners voted to waive the drop-off fees for larger debris piles at the landfill until October 19th. We've got more information on our website. Well, the new Sandpiper Bay Resort in Port St. Lucie is now taking reservations. It's run by Altitude Hospitality, which reportedly bought the old Club Med property for around $55 million. The owner is in the process of a full-scale transformation to the 307-room property.
And we're going to stay unsettled this work week with a good chance of showers and storms each and every day. High temperatures ranging from the upper 80s in the beginning to the mid 80s. But next Saturday, we are tracking a cold front.
Thanks so much for tuning in to WPTV Treasure Coast News. Find more stories about what's happening around the Treasure Coast on WPTV.com. Click the Treasure Coast link that you'll find at the top of the homepage. Again, thanks for tuning in. See you later tonight at 11.